Hey everyone, it's me, Alli the half-orc paladin, and I'm back for Act 2 in Honor mode. Let's go! We continue our journey through the mountain pass, where we have to face the Kitianki Crash. We can't be messing around when it comes to them. So first, we have to kill these Kitianki immediately before they can run. This is important for two reasons. One, they will close the door and complicate things for later. And two, these guys will make it really hard to steal from the Kitianki vendor. I think. Before we go inside, we kill these drunk kobolds for some extra XP and solve the quick puzzle to get the key for the blood of Latender. And we go inside the Kitianki Crash. With the help of Lae'zel, we get inside without any trouble. And our first visit is the store. We need to steal many good things, like the dexterity gloves. I'll be using them for the rest of the campaign, and many other handy items. Time to go to the Sadist, or the weird machine that will definitely remove our tadpoles. But here I have a problem. I know that Lae'zel wants to hop into this machine as soon as possible, but this is a terrible idea because of the saving throws that you'll have to do for her to be safe. So instead, I send her back to the camp, get Lifeheart to replace her, and finally, I'm the one hopping into the machine. With the help of Shadowheart and Lifeheart, I can get a lot of buffs with some extra items like my ring and shield, help me pass all saving throws without any trouble. This gives me the Awakened buff, which gives me the ability to use all my Illithid powers as a bonus action. Since now we have all the items we want, it's time to face the big enemy in the crash, the Inquisitor. The strategy I planned was to have my best companions for killing one specific target. I thought that it would be able to surprise attack him, but he has the alert feature. And only two of my characters were faster than him, so they weren't able to one-shot him before he uses his legendary action.
Oh shit!
I miscalculated. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to just keep hitting him before his swords attacks us. So I was barely able to take him down and the swords vanish. This is the beginning of my miscalculations and unexpected events in Act 2. The rest of the fight was easy to handle, but as we won, we faced the Queen of the Git, Blackit. She appeared and demanded to go and kill someone inside the prison. I have to agree or else I would die. Also, I want to be on the good side of my kid girlfriend. So, here we go. I mean, I don't have to kill the person inside, so... Oh yeah, probably I didn't show you my guardian in the first video. I did choose a Kitianki, so maybe I was destined to stay with a Git girlfriend. Since I didn't kill my guardian, I had to show Lae'zel the truth. Oh, and I also got the buff Bless until the long rest. This was very handy to get rid of all the Gits. I didn't record it, but it wasn't that difficult actually, especially if you use ranged and magic attacks. Once I'm done with them, I go and get the blood of Latender. You can just put the key before or after you activate the big trap weapon. This weapon is very important in Act 2, so you'll be seeing me using this weapon for the rest of the video. Before we can get out from the mountain pass, we face some Dead Shepherd, which can be tricky if you don't have radiant attacks. But since I'm a paladin and have Shadowheart with me, it was an easy fight. Finally, we are stepping into Act 2. So by going this way, I encounter Elminster. Thanks to him, Gale's nether orb is sealed, and he can now turn into a nuke for the end of this Honor playthrough. Now we only need to get to Act 3. Oh, and by the way, Lae'zel fell in love with the Githyanki egg we stole from the crash.
An unhatched Githyanki egg should be the burden of a Vash, and yet I'm drawn to the warmth of it. The child of Gith grows within. Keep it close.
Well, I guess she is now Mommy Lae'zel. Let's continue. We finally walk into the Shadowlands. And first things first, we have to get protection from it. So as we get into the Shadowlands, we encounter these Harpers and help them with the shadows. This is the moment of Shadowheart to shine. She can cast Guiding Bolt, which is a powerful spell against the shadows, but most importantly, the spell that will help a lot in Act 2, Daylight. It reveals the shadows, make it harder for them to hide, they have disadvantage when they are near the spell, and you don't need a light source to protect yourself. So try to cast it every time when you are in the Shadowlands. Once we defeat all the shadows, we go to Last Light Inn, where Jaheira receives us with a warm welcome. After Mole saves us, we can go with Damon. Now we can give Damon many of the infernal materials we recollected through our journey. We acquire the Helldust armor for Karlach, the Helldust helmet for me, and the Helldust gloves for Lae'zel. These surely are going to be helpful and not cause problems in the future. That being said, we now go to see Isobel, the one that is protecting the Last Light Inn. So we get protection from the Shadow Curse. Of course, this triggers a very tough fight against Flaming Fist Marcus. The problem of this fight is that you'll lose if Isobel gets captured, and she's really bad at keeping herself alive. Fortunately, I prepared with Shadowheart. She gave her protection and started to heal her immediately when she took damage. A small tip is to link her with a cleric so she takes only half the damage she should, and using Sanctuary will be very helpful too. But I completely forgot about it and started the fight with fewer spell slots. The fight was very messy, but I was able to throw some health potions and survival instincts to make Shadowheart and Isobel endure the fight. I was dumb, but not too dumb. So I just kept healing her and we managed to clutch this one. With all that down, it was time to face the big spider, with the help of some Harpers. The spider is called Carnis, and it needs to die right now, or else we'll have to kill him in the roof when you face Ketheric Thorn. And Ketheric is already a big enough problem. Fortunately, he isn't a big problem when you have some mid shields, some extra allies. So, he went down without problems. We finally get the Moon Lantern, free the Pixie, and get protection from the Shadow Curse. Time for a good long rest. But before that, Misora visits our camp to give new orders to Will. We accept, but with the condition of freeing Will. We now go to the Last Light Inn to get rid of some strange and tricky creatures, the Minlock. We have to be extra careful. These things can paralyze you indefinitely, if many of them start to attack you at the same time. But with the help of Shard, Daylight, and Astarion, we sweep them. Also, I returned to Act 1, because I was also looking for the Albert cutscene. Just partial rest and don't worry about the supply camps. But I actually got another unexpected surprise. Lae'zel suddenly woke me up. I had never seen this scene, so I was very curious to know if she wanted to have more fun. And she wanted to have fun, but it was a different type of fun.
Are you worthy?
Of course I'm worthy. I'll prove it to you. She wanted to fight with me. I was a bit scared because she is one of my strongest companions, but I have the most armor and health in the party. So, with some good smacks, she went down, and she loved it. Oh, and I had the visit of the Owl Cub. So, mission accomplished, time to return to Act 2 and go through the Shadow Curse. This was a big mistake. We teleported, and I learned that you immediately lose the protection of the Pixie. So, I was in the middle of the Shadow Curse and about to die if I didn't get out of there. I was a bit lucky that the characters that I had in my party also had Misty Step, so most of them were able to get out of it without trouble. Most of them because I had to kill Astarion to get him out of the Shadow Curse. Lesson learned, don't teleport back to Act 2 in the middle of the Shadow Curse. Time to do a long rest to recover my... Oh, Playsil again? Yep, she really was being more open with her feelings. Interesting.
I would know you again. Not to claw you, but to caress you. Not to be burned in your heat, but to be bathed in your warmth. Truthfully, it took more courage to ask for a soft touch than it would to meet the gaze of the ninefold dragon.
Well, we finally arrived at Moonrise Towers. We enter without any problem, and we encounter Mintaura. She gets taken to the jail to be killed. We have to rescue her, but first I want to get a potion that only Astarion can obtain. With a bit of convincing, we make Astarion drink the blood of this vile woman, and we get a very powerful potion for us. It was time to now save Mintaura. Their captors are easy to defeat, but they had one last trick on their sleeve. They cast Confusion. This made my powerful Lae'zel to punch Mintaura 2 times, leaving her almost dead. So once we were rescuing her and ended the dialogue, she suddenly just dies. What? Why? Later I realized that the gloves of Lae'zel can inflict bleeding from a non-weapon attack.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Oh fuck, it hurts to see it again. Well, we have to continue. Moonrise Towers is a special place, because we can kill many of the enemies one by one or in small groups, so we don't have to deal with them in the big battle at the main hall. I didn't know that we could convince Sorel to kill her bodyguard. Let's work for me. Let's get out of Moonrise Towers and face all the bosses that are in the Shadow Curse. We only need one of the strongest weapons in Act 2, our charisma. Except this one. The Sobal Thorn. With him we need performance, sleight of hand, constitution, and persuasion. So, a paladin is good for that. I already have good charisma and a good constitution. Just make sure to also have Shadowheart for extra stats and your 4 inspiration points, because we really don't want to fight him. The next one is Malus Storm. Thanks to some items, we have a lot of persuasion, so we easily convince him that her sisters need practice, and they need to use him as a vessel. So, he is dead now. Again, I guess. Finally, the last boss in the Shadow Curse, Gode Thorn. She is the easiest from them. You can either pay 5,000 gold or persuade her to pay you all her money. So that's 3 out of 6 bosses in this part of Act 2. We go to sleep and Gils wants to talk to me? Please, no homo, you're handsome, but I'm a straight guy.
It feels so good to know you'll be playing with me. No homo.
Yes. No homo indeed.
Nah, it was more of a talk about how he feels and that he doesn't want to die. Unfortunately, my guy, we need you as our kamikaze in the final battle. Time to kill many enemies in Moonrise Towers, but in very small groups. Did you know that you can kill everyone before the big battle at the end of Act 2? And doing this is much easier than you think. You can either carry some enemies far from the others and kill them one by one, or immediately face a small group and kill them. We also help this Gnoll to kill this woman, and then we convince him to be our ally. We go upstairs and push these guys out of the tower. Then we have to kill this Scrying Eye, which is more tough than you think if you don't have thunder damage. And finally, time to kill the toughest and most annoying enemy in Moonrise Towers, Disciples Rel. She nullifies spells, uses Warlock spells, and the elite power Black Hole. Those can be a huge problem in the final fight, so we have to kill her now. Now, what if I told you that she was my easiest kill in Moonrise Towers? What if I told you that neither me nor my companions attacked her? Heck, we didn't even touch her. Would you believe that Shovel, a summon with 17 HP and can barely deal 6 damage, can 1v1 Sorel on her own? Well, check this out. Yep, I'm not kidding. For some reason, if Shovel is invisible and hits Sorel, she doesn't care. Why? I have no idea. I guess because she isn't an enemy and she's neutral to us? So Shovel can turn invisible again and keep hitting her without repercussions until she finally is dead. I guess I discovered a glitch in Baldur's Gate 3 all on my own. Remember, we're in honor mode, and this was recorded in patch 6, so maybe this has been fixed already, but for now, I'll kill her without any trouble at all. Let's continue. Time to go to the jails in the basement of Moonrise Towers. If you want an easier fight, remember to first get rid of these stupid eyes. Throwing them into a cliff is the best way to kill them. You can keep throwing enemies into the castle. Then we deal with the warden. Obviously, Shovel and Astarion being the MVPs by just killing her in one single turn. We then rescue Wolverine and the Tieflings from the dungeon. A very easy task. With all that down, we all return to the Last Light Inn.
That was easy.
By doing this, we get many good rewards. The most important is the Potent Robe, a good clothing for a warlock. In other words, Will. Well, it's time to finally enter the Gauntlet of Shar. Here we have many rough battles, or they can also be very easy. First, Urgir. He can be a very tough enemy, but if you have a lot of charisma and persuasion, we can just convince him to kill himself. That's now 4 out of 6 bosses. And finally, the big tough battle against Balthazar. This battle can be very rough if you are not careful, but you can also win this battle by not helping. How? Well, you have to use a wizard for this, usually Gil. He is the one starting this battle by talking to the skeleton servants. Once the battle starts, Gil is going to use Knock to open the door, just where Balthazar is hiding. So now, Balthazar needs to fight for his life against all Justiciar's Avengers. Now we only have to wait for like 20 minutes. And there is a high chance of Balthazar not surviving this fight. And he also gets rid of many of these enemies, so we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But keep an eye on the fight. You have to make sure that Balthazar and all his minions die. A good strategy is to keep your wizard hiding in the room of Balthazar as the fight unfolds. After that, you only kill the remaining enemies. And done. We finished 5 out of 6 bosses. We still have many others that can be considered boss, but I won't count them since they were simpler. As I said, he has a high chance of dying. It's like a 90% chance that he will die. But he might survive, so you might need to double tap. Time for another long rest and fight the last rough boss. The Shadow Curse Shambling Mound. That is a long name. Just Shadow Tree for short. If you get too close, this thing can restrain you, cover you with digestive juices, and then follow it with Devour. And that can one-shot your character. I thought Astarion would be great against him, but he's immune to piercing damage, so arrows are useless. He has fire resistance, ice resistance, and immunity to lightning. So that already nullifies many spells. Fortunately, we still have other good spells that can be very handy. So I prepared with many summons, I brought Shadowheart to buff us, and finally used Hunger of Hadar and Cloudkill over the Shadow Tree. Cloudkill is going to be doing a lot of poison damage, Hunger of Hadar, acid damage, and a bit of cold damage. And the idea is to make it hard for that thing to reach us with the help of Eldritch Blast. And if the tree wants to attack one of us, it'll be tempted to pull instead one of our many summons. It's now time to do Halsey's quest to get rid of the Shadow Curse. His quest can be very rough, but I have the perfect idea to deal with it. We only need to block the portal so nobody can attack it. How? Barrels. What? For some reason, enemies can attack through barrels, so they have to either attack us or skip their turn. Just make sure to place the barrels correctly, and now we are good to go. Dealing with all these enemies can be difficult, but not too much if you have a good character to stop the shadow, so the others can attack from the high ground and keep a bit of the advantage. Big recommendation to use spells that affect the movement and last in the area for a while. Spike Growth, Hunger of Hadar, and Ice Storm are really good for this. And it's done! Although we still have work to be done. But now we have Halsey as a companion. Time to actually lift the curse of the Shadowlands. We have to rescue Daniel's half. He's also a boss with a legendary action, but at least he isn't too hard to deal with. We have strength in numbers for this one. And with the power of the spell Daylight and Healing, everything is easier. We then talk nice with Shadow Spirit of the Land. That's a weird and long name. And we are done again. Daniel is awake, and he wants vengeance?
Ketheric Thorm must die.
Okay.
Well, because we really want the level 10, we start fighting many enemies around the Shadowlands. Finally, it was time to do Char's Trials. These can be tricky or very easy, depending on you. And we have to let Shadowheart interact with the sacrificial bowls. Oh, but when it comes to doing the trial, you or any companion can do it. It doesn't have to be Shard. The first trial is very easy. Just don't let the shadow see you. Astarion is great for this one. The second trial can be very hard or very easy. We have to fight ourselves. That's why we're gonna take off our armor and weapons and then start the trial. Time to wear our armor back? Hey, it's cold around here. If we do this, the copies won't have any weapons or armor to protect themselves. Is it cheating? I call it balancing our odds. Because we cannot attack any other enemy that isn't yourself. Or we're gonna get debuffed and it lasts until a long rest. The last trial is the one I hate the most. You have to go through an invisible path, and you can easily fall and die instantly. Fortunately for me, I did it on my first try. We still have another room to deal with. Killing the enemies and solving the puzzle is simple. So we collect some armor and a spear that can kill the Night Song. We go and face the Githyanki that are near the road to Baldur's Gate. Fortunately, they can be surprised. So we were able to kill the leader before she could do anything about it. He got a new legendary action in patch 6. I don't know what it does. Her legendary action didn't help her at all, and the other Githyankis were easy to deal with. We continue our journey to reach level 10. We were really close, so we killed some fish people, more Shadow Curse enemies, and also the rest of Moonrise Towers. We really have to clean house. We killed all the enemies we could, and we were really close to get level 10. So I knew I was going to get leveled up before the final boss of Act 2. So it's time to finish this. We finally open the door to the Night Song and we delve into the waters of the Shar Temple. Now, I was 90% sure that if you have a good relationship with Shadowheart, then she will make the correct choice. In my other playthroughs, I had to convince her, so in this one, I let her do what she wanted. Thank God. I let her check that if you have a certain amount of friendship points, she will always spare the Night Song. Time to have the huge battle in Moonrise Towers. Or that's what I would say if I haven't killed them already. So, Jaheira won't die here. I hope. But did you know that there is a battle in the basement of Moonrise Towers? More experience, so here we go! The battle was super easy, barely an inconvenience. All thanks to Astarion and the power of never skipping my turn. By getting out of the basement and then returning, I got my turn back every time. And because it's my turn and I haven't ended my turn with my other characters, well, Astarion can do this all day. We prepared our team to defeat Ketheric Thorm and took Jaheira with us to the roof. This is the beginning of the end of Act 2. We first took all the Necromites, or they could become annoying. Now, time for Ketheric Thorm. Nightsong managed to get close to him and hit him, but she also got hit hard. Fortunately, we managed to use ice to make him slip, then blind him, and I hit him really hard too. With only 2 of my attacks, he already had enough and both escaped. Let's take a long rest and the last preparations to go into the Mind Flayer colony. I got the blessing of Shar, then drank some elixirs, and got many buffs. I brought Astarion because he is the best character I have when it comes to killing one single target, Shard to give extra buffs when we are inside the colony, and just in case if any of us is in low HP, and Will to give us some AoE spells, and for a little extra we can get if we bring him with us. Here we go!
Let's go!
It's very recommended to kill the Intellect Devourers immediately, because there are many fights in this place that can happen, and they will join the fight to attack you from behind. We continue, and time to show why we brought Will to this place. Misora is captured here, so we have to free her, or we'll lose Will forever. So, there you go, Misora. You are free. But before you go, we persuade her to give Will a small reward. This is a special rapier that is really good for warlocks, and it also gives us a devil companion to the wearer. In this case, Will. We also free these people from the pods, which include Zevlor, and fight some Mind Flayers. We managed to deal with all the enemies in the colony. We just had to be careful. Oh, and I also got Brainy. Yeah, I call us Brainy, okay? So now I have 2 disgusting but very helpful summons, Shovel and Brainy. Before we continue, I grabbed some Nautiloid tanks and we healed ourselves before the final battle. Shard also gave us 8, so we all have a ton of extra health. We entered the arena by sneaking and using some invisible potions, especially for Scratch. He is more important than you think. Once we are all positioned, the battle begins. I reveal myself and I'm the first one in battle. I then send Scratch to free the Night Song so he can actually deal damage to Ketheric, and so she can also help immediately. Astarion joins the battle, then Will, and finally Shard by healing the Night Song, because some of the damage carries on from the last battle, and also the rest of my summons. The battle went smoothly. I wanted him to attack me because of the mirroring, and he could barely hit me. So, the first part of this battle was easy. But this was only half of the battle. It was time to finally face the real tough boss.
Shit.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Shard. Because it was his turn, I was prepared to take a good punch from Mirko, but he decided to take a swing on Night Song. That's better for me. She even retaliated well. It was time for a really long and tedious battle to see who managed to win the final. Wait, Will, what are you doing? Is that a fireball? Will, I'm still here. Wait, oh shit! Yeah, do you remember this scene from the previous video? I also got these two powerful explosives from this girl. These are going to be very important in the future. I wasn't going to risk it, so I brought a lot of explosives, some Nalori tanks, and the special explosives from Act 1.
Bomb has been planted.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to one-shot it, but it is possible. That's why I use Mirror Image, to be sure that I will be alive to put all the explosives near him when Ketheric transforms into Mirko. Well, we did it! We recruit Jaheira because we'll need her for the last companion, and time to finally go into Act 3. This act was something else, and I'm eager to know what will happen next. So, yeah, I'm currently playing Act 3 in Honor Mode. I hope I can actually beat it, and this is going to be my next video. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.